Mm-hmm.
Hey, okay, Anthony was talking. All right. Hey, insannies, it's me. The girl whose tits you saw last week. Annie Lederman. Eating a piece of bacon. Little too crunchy, let's be real. You can hear it. Somebody put this in the oven. It was from a restaurant. I think they just make it in bulk. And listen, vegans, stop hating. You're getting mad. Pigs are smart. Everyone's always like, pigs are so smart, we shouldn't eat them. It's like, if they're that smart, they should have fucking used their little hooves to get out of that little pig pen and escaped. How did they get into my mouth if they're that fucking smart? You're not that fucking smart, pigs. Sorry. And that is an analogy for cops. Anthony, do you have any friends that are cops?
I know some cops, yeah.
It fucking feels so good to know cops.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I consumed an edible in front of a cop once.
Oh my God, I have such a better story than that. I have a one-up, but finish your
I
story.
didn't know he was a cop. It was just 4 dudes sitting around at the table at my bar. And,
Tell me more. Keep telling me your story.
are you good?
Keep going. Say it slower. Come on, Anthony. Tell your cop story. Oh, yeah.
And that was it.
Okay. I went to a bar with Carly Acquillo, who's my girl from Girl Code. If you don't know her, follow her. She's literally the funniest bitch I've ever met. I mean, she's actually like probably the cutest, prettiest, sexiest, funniest, sweetest. She's really like you ever meet those people and you're just like, damn, this person is good. Is it working? Oh my God, Anthony, I'll kill you. Anthony's on thin, showed my tits. Anthony, you are on thin. Oh my God, I'm going to kill you. Anyway, so I was meeting up with her. I was living in New York and she's like, come to this bar. So I met up with her and I was smoking weed at the time. Not drinking, still not drinking. And I show up and we're wearing the exact same outfit. It was so funny. With the exact same outfit on it. We'll post a picture. Remember that? Exact same outfit. And then there were all these like dudes and there was this one kind of like husky woman. She was a little bit we're gonna bleep that. Anyway, we're hanging out with her, we're having fun. She recognized Carly. I don't know if she recognized me, but Carly was definitely, we would hang out and people would be like, oh my God, Girl Code. And I was like, I was also on the show. Just not one of the stars. But anyway, so we were dancing, having fun. I had all these weed lollipops and I kept like licking them and trying to get these guys to lick them. And I kept going up to the guys like, just to eat some of my weed with me, guys. I'm so fucked up. And then finally the woman goes, hey, Annie, I'm a cop. These are all Secret Service agents. We can put up the picture. And then there's like a text from Carly where I'm like, I was so high that night that she had to do my Uber for me. Like I couldn't push buttons on my phone. So edibles will fucking get you, right? I'm like, is this heroin? Is this what heroin's like? Anyway, so there was a text with it too, where it was like, do you remember when I gave edibles to that? I mean, I wouldn't let them say no. But anyway, was that a good story? I don't know. I think it was. But I used to be friends with a lot of cops in Santa Fe that got me out of a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble. And I took a lot of pictures with them. I have a lot of pictures with cops. Showed the pics. One time they pulled me over. I was drunk driving. I don't have a picture of this cop. So these cops whose pictures you see can't get in trouble. But, oh, I wish there were pockets here. This is my new jumpsuit. You can kind of see my boobs through it. But let's be real. Anthony showed you my actual boobs. Last week, Anthony showed you my actual fucking tits. I mean, I was mad. I went, holy shit. There's a panic where you go like, oh my God, like my privacy has been breached, or like, fuck. And I was so upset. But, I understand it's a mistake. There's no way he'd do it on purpose and he'll be punished. But
I'm very sorry.
But I was upset for a second. I just felt like this, not betrayal from you, but like a betrayal of the universe, right? Where you're like, oh my God, like I wasn't in control of that. Okay. But then I saw the clip and they look fucking good. And then I was like, okay, Anthony, a little freebie out there. All right, son. Okay. Let's go. So we worked with it. It's like, they called me Flashing Annie in college. I've shown my tits to a lot of teachers. A lot of professors. I think they gave me good grades because they're like, oh, they're so little.
Did anyone say that they thought you did it on purpose?
No. But I do foresee that happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
I foresee it happening because it does feel like a publicity stunt. But
yeah, the funniest part to me is that it absolutely was some freak accident. I don't know how it happened.
Well, I think it happened because I asked you to cut all that other stuff out. So then it probably, because when I do edits on my phone.
But that's what happened. But everything else.
But was
in
the
place,
black,
though.
what was the black bar like in another scene at some point?
No, that's what I don't get. Is because everything else, like all the pictures I had to add, everything else, like all the edits, all the sound edits, the bleeps and everything all moved over except for the black bar.
Listen, you'll be punished. We'll take your, we're going to take your agency away from you. We're going to take your freedom. We're going to take your ability to love away for a second.
Okay.
We're going to punish you.
Okay.
We're going to do a couple things.
Like what?
Okay. Well, hold on.
Be careful.
Guys, check it out. We're going to go physical first. Okay. We're going to hurt you physically. Okay. My friends are nerds and they go to the Renaissance Fair, so they lent me this whip for this exact thing. I'm going to whip the shit out of you, Anthony, and it's not going to be in a sexual way. It's going to be in a very painful, punishy way. You're going to get whipped, okay? So this is going to be, you're not black, you're not Haitian. We've been through this. Now he wants to claim Haitian when he wants to make it a hate crime. Wow, Anthony. Now he's fucking Haitian. So this will hurt you. This will punish you physically, okay? Then we're going to hurt you emotionally, okay? We're gonna have you call your mother and tell her you're gay. Okay, and we're gonna do it real. You're gonna play it real as fuck, and there's gonna be a moment where your poor mother has to deal with the fucking awkwardness that her big oafy Mexican ass son is gay. Okay, and he's a bear. If you knew what Anthony looked like, which he's never shown. Actually, we were going to show a picture of Anthony, but instead he showed my tits. It's weird that there was actually supposed to be a picture of Anthony, but then my tits were shown. Some guy DM'd me and was like, I was listening to the podcast, and then I went on YouTube because it said they were going to show a picture of Anthony. I want to see what this fucking dude looked like. And then I saw your tits. And it was on Thanksgiving, so you're welcome, guys. I got a lot of people saying they were grateful for my areolas. They were thankful that I showed my tits. I mean, it couldn't have worked out better. Honestly, if they hadn't been a little hard and they'd been a little bit torpedo-y, I would be in prison for murdering you. I'd be in a cell next to your dad. His dad's in prison. Now, Anthony, and that hurt you a little. I'm here to hurt you a little today. Also, what else? So I want to get you psychologically. I want to hurt you too. So what we're going to do is we're going to duct tape you to a chair. I'm going to force you to watch Nanette in the full special Nanette. No, you're going to watch it and you're going to fucking cry, dude.
Enough people are going to have to watch her with Bill Burr at JFL.
Are they together?
Did you see that? They're co-headlining JFL.
This has to be stopped. They can't have so many white men in comedy. Get it? Because she looks like a white man. I just think it's funny when you're so mad at white men, but you are obviously dressing like them, trying to be one. All of that. It's like a weird... I think a lot of the women's movement, when I was like all in this cult, I really honestly believe my ex-boyfriend deprogrammed me from being in this like fake feminist bullshit cult. Like, I'm a feminist, sure, of course. You don't have to say it. That's weird to say it. Once you say it, you're like, you're another thing. You're being another thing. But I realized I'm like marching with all these lesbians and I'm going, oh my God, of course they want to be like, fuck men. They're trying to finger me. They're like, yeah, let's get rid of all the dudes, ladies. We don't need them, right? I was like trying to actively become a lesbian. I was deranged. I was in a thing. I was trying to become a man. No, I was trying to treat a lady right. But here's also the thing about that. I don't want to quote a Beyonce song, but if I were a boy... I'd be so good at being a boy.
That's a Beyonce song?
To a girl. If I were a boy. I don't remember any of the other words.
I don't know.
But anyway, wouldn't you like to see Beyonce dressed up like a boy? That'd be funny.
I would just like to see Beyonce naked.
Really?
Yeah, dude.
That's very Haitian of you. That's your girl?
She's a hot black chick, yeah.
Do you bang black chicks?
I have not, but I almost
You're interested
once.
in?
I almost did once, yeah.
Ayahuasca keeps telling me to bang black dudes.
That's what
Mother Ayahuasca, I'm not even kidding. Mother Ayahuasca comes to me and goes, they're kings. Bang them. here's the thing.
Is it because ayahuasca is like...
Obviously, you can't say a whole race is a whole thing. You can't say a whole gender is a whole thing. You can't say a whole anything is a whole thing. But there is a power that you generally see in black men that aren't always there in white men. I'm not saying it isn't, but I'm just saying they got something going on.
Like what?
They're strong. They're like strong and like masculine. A lot of times. I'm not saying all. I'm not. I can't group all together. I think that is racist. You're a. This guy's still here, man. He's still threatening those asshole pictures.
And now he's appropriating his hat.
He's even he's being black. He's a wigger. I've been doing a joke with the word wigger in it, and comic was black went up after me, tried to make a thing about it, and I'm like, no, I no, we're not going to do that. I get really annoyed with that because it's like there's no other word for the genre, and this was an important genre in my life. I exclusively hooked up with wiggers before with W words. Like, are you kidding? I'm not. They don't exist anymore, so that's why it's such a weird thing. It's like they don't exist anymore. It's this genre of person. It's like saying that there's a certain type of dinosaur we're not allowed to talk about because it rhymes with a racist word. It's like, here's the deal. They're wiggers. There's nothing else to call them. I'm not going to call them M&Ms. I'm not going to call them like white guys with do-rags. It's ridiculous. You know what I mean when I say wigger. You know I'm not saying it to hurt black people. You know. It's a weird, like, what? No. I'm not saying the N-word. I'm not going to say the N-word. I'm not thinking the N-word. You're thinking it. If it's upsetting you, you're thinking it. I'm thinking about very specific white guys with very specific hats and chains and Tommy Hilfiger shirts and 2-liter bottle. Like, yes, it was like, well, yeah, they were flat back then.
Cottonmouth Kings.
But it's like, it's a specific thing. And they don't exist anymore. They all turned into Verizon kiosk workers. Or sometimes they're like, in the grocery store at like 3 a.m, like in the back, you know, they don't let them be seen. A lot of them are missing teeth. Meth went with being a wigger. It's like.
People don't like the word because of IGGR.
Yeah, but I'm not going to say wigga. That's ridiculous.
It's pretty funny though. But like if you're going to outlaw wigger, you have to outlaw bigger
and trigger.
Trigger.
And. All I'm saying is I was friends with cops. Now, we wanted to talk about comedy today, and I didn't do really enough work ahead of this to do what I want with this, so we might have to do another episode like this, and obviously Anthony showed my tits on the internet, so things changed, but I just want to preface the comedy episode with, you guys coming and asking professional comedians for their help in comedy is so psychotic.
Even though you asked?
Now I asked, but I asked because I kept getting it and it was annoying me. There's some weird like retardation in your guys' brains where you think like, why would a professional comedian want you, some stranger somewhere, to do to just take stage? Like, it just, if a million comedians started doing comedy and they all got really good, which is impossible, like you're probably not going to be good. Chances are you're not going to be good. It's like a very specific skill set and you have to work very hard. You also have to have a special thing. So it's like you have to have a special thing and work really hard, and you have to be able to sustain pain. It's like, it's painful. And the mere act of reaching out to a professional comedian to ask for tips shows me that you are avoiding the pain, because there's no secret. There's no tips. There's no, like, there's little things that you can learn here and there, but there's no shortcut. What you're doing is you want me to tell you, yes, do this. You're going to be great. You're amazing. Like, you want me to tell a stranger how good you are. And that's insanity. I mean, some of you guys sent me bits that are so bad. Honestly, this one kid, he's so cocky. It's like, why do you think being cocky is the right thing? This is a vulnerable art form. Okay. And I say art form. I was talking to Joe DeRosa earlier about it. Art. He was like, don't call it art. I go, it is fucking art. This is my art. Okay. I'm an artist. Okay. I'm painting a picture for you. I'm bringing in like my cadence. I'm bringing in my presence. I'm bringing in my writing. I'm bringing in my honing, my everything, my timing, my ability to connect with an audience, the way I look, everything. There's so many things that are going into it, and I'm listening and I'm rewriting and I'm working and I'm creating things. I'm creating things from nothing that are going to hopefully go into your head and resonate with you and make you laugh in the audience. That's my art. Okay. I work really, really hard on it. I sacrificed a lot of things to do it. So when people email me and they go, Like last night, I was at the Chateau Marmont. I did David Spade yesterday. It was so fun. I did it with this guy Dusty Slay, it was my first time meeting him. He's really cool. He's from Nashville. He's from Alabama, but he lives in Nashville now. He was cool. And with Rob Lowe, so hot. Him and David are actually very hot. It's very shocking. They're aging very well. They probably look a little bit younger than me at this point. But we had a really good time. It was really fun. And if you watch it, I have like a specific skill set that I had to learn. I had to do Chelsea lately I did Chelsea lately for a year and a half. I was nervous as fuck. I learned how to jump in. I have a problem where I think I interrupt too much, so I need to work on that. I need to listen more. But, you know, it's a process, and it's about like those sort of things where you look back on all of these times when you're telling jokes, whether it's in, you know, in the form of stand-up or you're writing a script or a situation like this where you're doing a panel show. It's like you have to keep working. You have to be critical. You have to look at yourself. There is only pain. There's like moments of joy, and then it's all pain. So it's like these asking for tips, it's literally you trying to avoid the pain. It's so obvious. Like the time you took to type up the thing and send it is like a joke. It's a joke. Write a joke. And you're not going to be good. But anyway, so after I did the show, my friend came with me, and she was like, I want to take you to Chateau Marmont afterwards, which is like where John Belushi died. It's just like a few people died there. Yeah, a lot of people died there. It's a cool place to die, I guess. But it's, you know, it's a nice, like it's a cool old building, and there was a piano player and stuff. I prefer to not have someone fucking playing piano in my ears, but it was expensive food. It was just like a weird vibe, but it was fun. And I went with my friends, and I left to make a phone call you know what? I was just looking at my phone obsessively because of the Spade. Excuse me, I'm hiccuping and burping at the same time. I'm herking. But so I was just like looking at what people were saying about the Spade thing. If I'm being real. And some guy was sitting by himself eating, and he goes, "Hey, who are you?" And I was wearing like a cutoff hoodie with a Leo on it and hoops and stuff. Like I looked a little ridiculous, but good. You know, I looked good. I had my swag on. But he was just he looked like nothing, you know, some boring white guy. Not hot. Who are you? And I go, I'm a comedian. He goes, what are you doing here? And I went, I'm in between sets at the Comedy Store. And I'm just like looking at I did some TV stuff today, so I'm looking at my comments. I just told him the truth. And he goes, oh, I have my first 5 minutes written. And it was like, bye. What? I just told you I'm a professional comedian. You have your first 5 minutes written. Okay, this is what I do professionally. You have your first 5 minutes written. You've never gone on stage. I'm telling you what you have, sir. You have negative something. You have nothing. You have nothing. I went, okay. It's like, it's so psychotic to do that. Like, what do you mean? You have your first 5 minutes? You've been nothing but boring to me. I don't see like a natural spark you have, or you haven't been funny. You haven't been anything. I mean, I guess it was bold to talk to me because obviously I'm not going to think you're hot. Have you seen yourself in the fucking mirror, you dork? And I just like, did you think I was a hooker with a heart of gold? Like I was wearing a animal print jacket. Maybe you thought I was a hooker. I don't know. I honestly. I was shocked he dared to speak to me, and I was shocked that he dared to talk to me about comedy like that. And I went, and he goes, yeah, I just had to find the right open mic. And I went, I don't want to talk to you about this. And also, like, just do it. What are you talking about? It's like disgusting what you're saying. I was like, what do you mean? I'm like, you have nothing. You don't sit at home and write. That's not a thing. When people always say that, I go, well, I'm just getting my writing together. No. You have to bomb. This is not like, oh, I'm going to go have like this amazing time on stage because I'm so amazing and talented. Your ego is fucking bullshit, okay? Your ego is telling you the opposite of what you really feel. You know you're garbage. You know you're bad. That's why you're not getting on stage. You want to try to like surpass this pain that is literally what the jokes are built on. It's what the jokes are built on. I can't speak for every comedian, but I come from a background of trauma. My trauma response is to compulsively tell jokes. I learned how to tell jokes, but it still took me a while to be able to like figure out how to tell stage jokes and make everyone laugh and control the whole audience. There's so many things you have to do. You have to handle like if a glass breaks, if someone's talking, if someone yells something out. You have to handle if like the room's too hot, the room's too cold. My friend, a guy had a heart attack when he was on stage. Like you have to do all of that, and then you have to keep going. It's not like I'm just going to go up and I have this 5 minutes I wrote. What the fuck are you talking about? Everyone has some thought they think is funny in their head. It's like, it's a discipline. And so when you're writing me, like, are you out of your mind? And I'm not talking about when I asked you guys if you wanted advice. I mean, there's little things I can help with, but you don't deserve it. Nobody helped me like that. Well, one guy helped me like that. He was a booker, so he watched everyone's sets and he learned how to structure a joke and stuff. But it's like, this is the one comedy tip I give people. When you're telling a joke, the funniest word should be at the end. And this is the only fucking advice. This is great advice. This can help your jokes. And this is the only thing I can give you, really, other than your pussies and it's you. The funniest word goes last. So I'll use an example of one of my old jokes. I had a joke about how I look like Scarlett Johansson. And this is how it was first written. I said, I look like Scarlett Johansson if her tits were burned off in a house fire. Now, that's not going to get as big of a laugh because I say tits and then I say house fire. So tits is the funniest word. So then they're confused and maybe laughing and then stepping on my punchline. So instead, I look like Scarlett Johansson if I was in a house fire that only burned off my tits. Okay, tits is at the end. That's when you laugh. You're fucking welcome. Comedy 101. Trim the fat. You guys ramble. You ramble on stage. And it's okay to go on in the beginning and to ramble on stage. You're at an open mic or whatever. People aren't going to laugh. They're not going to like it. At my stage, sometimes I talk things out. Like I had a set last night. And honestly, I do think I have been smoking weed again. And it is negatively affecting my stage presence. So I'm cutting that shit out. Today is the end of that after tonight. And, no, but I'm going to stop smoking because it's not, there's a lack of connection. There's a lack of like, firing. I'm firing like this. My brain goes like this. Pop, 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 pop. And yours might not. A lot of comedians don't. David Tell's like this. Okay. When I was dating other comics I don't mention their names anymore, like this. Like it's like you're trying to one up each other. It's like a competitive thing and it's not to shit on each other. It's just like, look at what we can do. There's this Elton John video. I think I brought it up a bunch, but I have, yeah. Where he's just like, he's doing, what the fuck is the song?
Your song?
It's not your song. It's not Rocket Man. It's Benny and the Jets. And he's doing this solo, okay? And it's in Central Park. It's in the 80s. And he's just like sweating and drunk or high or something. I don't know what's going on, but he's just in the moment of this solo that he's doing on the piano. And he's just up on there and he's like, keeps going like this. Like that's what I'm always trying to do. Like, I'm trying to be like, look at what I can do, you know, like, and maybe that's like cocky or braggy or whatever, but I like, you know, I'll make videos or something and it's like, I make people watch. I'm like, did you see my video? Like, I know that that's like annoying when it's like maybe childish or whatever, but it's like, I like to entertain people and I want to see people enjoy it. You know, like I made this for you. That's how it feels. Look, I made these jokes for you. Or in this moment when we're having this conversation, me and these comics, I got this rip for you. Like, ooh, ooh, ooh. And we're just like going back and forth and it's fucking electric. Not all comics are like that. But I do think the more traumatized ones are. I do think that it's a trauma response. And so with that said, you need the pain. That's the part of it. And you can't, like, there's no like being ushered in. This guy last night, he goes, yeah, I'll probably bomb the first time. The guy at Hotel or Chateau Marmont. He goes, yeah, people like bomb the first time. I go, you're going to bomb for years. And he laughed. He goes, no. I go, 100%. 100%. Like, get the fuck over yourself. If that's how you feel, I got one kid who keeps writing me about how great he is, how he's the funniest under 21. I watched your set, bro. You're fucking bad at comedy. Can I just say that? And your little cocky attitude is disgusting. Honestly, I'm going to show the clip.
I was at a bar the other day. Well, actually, it was a TGI Fridays. But nevertheless, I saw a smoking hot girl sitting across. And then I see some guy go up to her, slip something in her drink. So I walk right up to that guy. I said, dude, are you serious? Drink that. And he's scared. He's like, oh, come on, dude. I don't even like Shirley Temples. I slap him across the face. I say, drink it. So he does. And sure enough, dude fell unconscious. Whole bar gave me a round of applause. Girl even kissed me on the mouth. Ended up having sex that night. It was fun. It was good. I mean, it was easy. The guy was already asleep.
And we're blurring out your face and we're giving you a different voice because I literally, in good conscience, cannot let people know your identity, that you think this is a good joke. You have a lot of work to do. Trim the fat. Your stage presence is off, dude. You're looking down. You're stumbling. You're whispering. You're mumbling. There's no eye contact. You look like shit, dude. And for you to write me, a professional comedian, and tell me you're one of the best comics, you suck, dude. And I'm telling you, this is the best thing that could happen for you is me telling you this. You are bad at comedy. I saw the punchline coming from before you even said the second sentence. Do you understand that? I knew your punchline. It wasn't good. It's a fake story. It's not real. Nobody clapped or thought you were a hero. You try to make yourself look good in it, and then you had the shittiest punchline at the end. It's bad. To go up with an ego like that is dangerous, and you're wasting everyone's time. So go up humble, like you should, in reality. Bringing your friends to a show, them sitting in the audience and them feeling compelled to laugh at you, they know you ahead of time, okay? They know they know about you. They know your backstory. So they're coming in ready to laugh. If you make people laugh at a party, cool. There's no agreement that you're going to make them laugh. So there's the shock value in that. If I'm at a party and I say something, about a shrimp ring or whatever, nobody's expecting me to tell a joke unless they know I'm a comedian, but this is before. Unless they, and then after that, they can laugh because they go, oh, that's weird. This random person just said a funny thing. I wasn't thinking that. When you go on stage, you're going, I'm funny. So everyone's going, okay, be funny. You have to be so funny. And a lot of these party Pauls, they don't become comedy Kyles, okay? You don't get to do both. You have to, it's a skill set. And to think you're that good, you are terrible at comedy. Wow. And I can't, this is me being nice. Do you understand? This seems maybe like I'm being mean or bullying you. This is the kindest thing I can do. I masked your face. You're terrible. You're the best comic under 21. He goes, oh, I'd be performing with you at the Comedy Store. I'm just not old enough. You will never get past at the Comedy Store. Can I tell you that? You'll never get past. You think that's good? You will never be able to perform in the fucking belly room, dude. I mean, I am dead serious. If you want to do comedy, shut the fuck up. Realize that your jokes are terrible and get up 5 times a night. When I first started comedy, okay, let's talk about open mics. If you guys really do want to go to comedy, get into comedy. All right. There's no writing, okay? You can write during the day. You can write on the way to the mic. You can have an idea or whatever. The writing, the learning, it happens on stage while nobody is laughing and your fucking heart and your stomach hurt. Your brain hurts. Your ego. Everything is in fucking pain, okay? It's a panic response. I have to figure this out or I'm going to die on stage. They call it dying. You die. You bombed. Explosion. You're dead. Do you get that? It's pain. And that's how you it kicks you into gear and you realize you got to make some changes. I bombed an entire weekend once. I'm not bomb proof. I bombed an entire weekend in 2016. I had a TV show on E. I was a little cocky. I was like, I'm doing this or that. And I flew out and I did this gig at a casino and I bombed I couldn't connect. I wasn't connecting and it hurt so much, but I will never forget that weekend. It was an important weekend for me. I look back on it. I love that fucking weekend. You gotta the good and the bad. It's all of ours, I've done enough hallucinogens to see that the lesson to me is that life is equally as hideous as it is gorgeous, and you need both of those things to work on it. Comedy is one of those things. It's one of those jobs where it's disgusting and beautiful at the same time. So you have to do the bad stuff. So anyway, so if you're gonna do mics, you can always look up. I know in LA there's comedybureau.com. And they have all the open mics. And then in New York, I used to use a thing called Bad Slava, but I haven't done mics in years. You just have to find them. I shouldn't even be telling you that. You should have the initiative yourself to Google and find out where they are and to go into a place where there is judgment. The whole thing is judgment with a bunch of people that know each other already that are not going to be nice to you. They probably won't be nice to you and you don't deserve them to. You haven't proven yourself. To go into that room and still get up and still do it and to bomb and then get up again and then bomb and get up again and then bomb and get up again and then bomb and get up again. This is a balls job. This is balls. And nobody's going to fucking hand it to you. There's no handing it to you. I made sure when I went to the open mics, there were some guys that were very, very mean. They were very funny, very mean. They worked really hard. and I befriended them. I went to the people that scared me the most, and I was like, I want to be great. I'm not here to fuck around. What should I do? Is this on? Mm-hmm. Okay. I was just thinking that'd be funny if you were like, it's not recording. It is. Okay. But like, what should I do? You know, I went up to Mike Lawrence. Okay. Mike Lawrence is now nice, but he was a fucking monster. I mean, he still looks like a monster. My little garbage pail Mike. Anyway, Mike Lawrence, hilarious. Follow him on everything. This is my boy. He was very like judgmental and, oh my God, sorry. Josh Wolf just asked me to do a show. It's like, it's raining. I'm not leaving. What are you talking about? It's like 4 minutes away. What? Ew. Go out in the rain in my new velour. I couldn't. Anyway, so he was like very tough on everyone and he worked really hard. So I went up to him and I was like, do you believe in me? And he was like, well, I will tell you this, you get better every time. And I go, great. That's all I want to do. I go, if you know everything, how many times do you think I should get up? And this was in New York. So there's more opportunity than in LA. But what I say to that argument to people and they're like, yeah, but it's like, that's New York. Move to New York. Do you want to be good at comedy? You have to get up 5 times a night. Like it's not, you can, and I'm not saying people haven't gotten good here or whatever, but why have they moved to New York? If this is what you want to do, none of the other shit matters. Move to New York. If you're like 100%, I'm a comic, that's all I'm going to be, which is what I was. I knew I wanted to do this as a profession since the moment I started doing it. I made huge changes. I did everything I could because I was like, this is what I'm on this earth for. Maybe that was a delusion that ended up being correct, but I just knew it was my thing. There was nothing ever in my life that I wanted to do more than this, ever in my life. And the minute I started, I never fucking stopped. There was no, I'm going to take time off to write. There was none of that bullshit. None of it. So it's like, be real with yourselves. You don't want this. You want attention. You think Rogan does it, so you can do it. You think like, it's not, I can't tell you how often, every day, people come up to me and say something. You don't want it. You wouldn't be asking me if you wanted this. You wouldn't be talking to me. If you wanted it, you'd be doing a mic. It's there. But anyway, so I asked him, I said, how many mics do you think I should do? This is Mike Lawrence. And he said, you should do 10 a week. And I go, how many do you do? And he goes, I do at least 15. And I said, okay, I'll see you at 17. And then we just went all the time. We tried to like, it's not a competition in the sense of like who's better than anyone, but it's a work ethic competition. It's like a competition in like sharpening your brain and getting all these reps in. And it's like, when you can just be riffing with your friends, like the gift that I get now after all this suffering is that I laugh all fucking day, that I'm friends with literally the funniest, most brilliant minds on this fucking earth. And I get to laugh and be one of them with them, that I get to be equals with people that were my heroes. Because when we're hanging out, I have learned how to fucking jump in. And there's people, I remember I did a comedy festival in Ireland a couple years ago. And there was this guy, really nice guy. He got his first heat. You know, you get these waves of heat in your career and he was like a bigger dude. He just like had a look, you know, and especially if you have a look, Comedy Central or these other networks they'll swoop you up and they'll go, this is the next thing. But really you only have about 5 to 7 minutes of material. And so I remember he was kind of doing the rounds, you know, MTV was offering him jobs and, you know, like he just was, and he was being really cocky about it. Okay. And we had already all been through our first wave of heat. So we kind of knew, but I noticed like he did have a very good set. The set was really solid and it was really funny and very interesting. He had a good look. So I get that. But when we would all be hanging out, he couldn't jump into the hang because it's a fucking dance, dude. It's like, it's boxing. It's like a whole thing. And he couldn't get into the hang. He would ruin every fucking riff. He would ruin we would all be standing in a circle just laughing. And he would just, without a doubt, ruin it. And it was just funny because you just learn different skill sets as you go along. And some people are never going to be able to riff, but for the most part, the comics that are good and keep going are able to do that. And it's fun. That's like why the cellar table is fun. That's why hanging out back at the Comedy Store is fun. It's just, I have a beautiful life and doing comedy professionally is I feel like I'm in goddamn heaven every day. I cannot believe it, but I worked very hard. I went up to the people that made me uncomfortable. I asked them what to do. I challenged myself to beat them. Mike and I would go to all these different open mics. I lived with comics. I lived with Mike Racine. I lived with Dan St. Germain, Chris DiStefano for one fucking night, and then he stayed at his mom's the whole time. Hilarious. So cute. Mama's boy. Cute little baby.
How did you get better at riffing?
At
Jumping
riffing?
in and like if you're hanging out with David Tell, how do you fit your way in there without getting nervous?
I don't get nervous. I mean, this is what I just think of a joke. I mean, that's why I interrupt a lot, and that's what I have to work on, because there's a way where I can like pull back a little bit, but it's like if I think of, and I think having ADD's help too, but it's like the minute I think of a thing, I go. And my dad's very quick, so I learned this from him. It's not like I never told a joke in public and then all of a sudden I was doing stand up. But to me, it's like I always look at it this way. Like a friend of mine, I'm not going to say his name, but a friend of mine, I remember he would always bomb on podcasts because he would get nervous and he wouldn't say anything. And I always realized that the bomb is not saying something that isn't funny. It's not saying anything. Just sitting there silently is the only way to bomb, because at least you're trying. And some of the jokes are going to be good you throw out, I would hope, or you shouldn't be on the podcast. But it's like, it's about, like, when I used to smoke weed all the time, I'm quitting today. When I used to smoke weed all the time and I would get paranoid, like in high school and stuff, I'd be like, oh, I'm so nervous. Like, and you would wait too long. You would wait like a split second too long to say something, and then you wouldn't say it because you're like, oh my God, everyone's going to like make fun of what I have to say. I realized like that's the split second is the problem. It's not what I have to say. It's that split second, that hesitation. So I learned to eliminate the hesitation, and I learned like how to beat paranoia when I was high was to announce everything I was thinking, to not keep anything a secret from me and the people I was hanging out with, to be like, oh man, I'm high as shit, or like, wow, I just forgot what the fuck I was talking about, or like whatever, I'm thinking, or like, just everything I say, just say it immediately. And then so if I do that, it's like I just can bop, 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 bop. My brain just thinks that way. I just think in jokes. Sometimes I wake up and I have jokes I dreamt about. Like I'm in a pocket. And right now, I think since I've done ayahuasca so much, and also when you hit 10 years in comedy, they say something just happens. But I'm definitely like, I have a flow of just like nonstop pouring out of ideas. And and it's been good. As long as I stay working and I keep moving forward, everything's really good. But anyway, I became friends with I always made sure with people that were more successful than me, because I started opening for Jim Norton when I was like 2 or 3 years in, and I was such a big fan of his. And I had done Caroline's, and on Broadway had this I think it was called March Madness, but you would wait in line and you would do 1 minute for the booker, for all the bookers, and it was a comedy competition. You would come back and do different brackets and stuff, and they really liked me because my jokes were like, I had my joke about how I was like, oh, I just flossed my teeth for the first time since 3rd grade. I didn't realize how much blood I had stuck between them. Or I just flossed for the first time since 3rd grade. I didn't realize how much blood I had stuck between my teeth. And then I had like a joke about, I've told this joke before, about how my mom tagged me in a bunch of embarrassing baby pictures. Like there's one where her vagina just makes my head look so small. And then I had, like, they were jokes. They were solid jokes. And whatever. I just had enough like one-liners to do in a minute. So I got through there, and then Caroline's had me on the radar, and Norton wanted to have a woman open for him to like, so it wasn't just like all dudes or whatever. And so I started opening for Norton. And I just tried to always like zing and be funny. You just can't like let people, because what am I going to just sit there like that? I mean, not that I don't respect him. He's like my elder in comedy, and he's a great, and I would, I bow down to him and stuff. And I'm very grateful to him for everything he did for me. I mean, that was really like an amazing thing, because I didn't do great. I mean, the first time I opened for him, they switched me to host because I was like bombing. But what I learned from his crowds is to not be afraid, because I was afraid of his crowds. I was like, oh my God, it's like Opie and Anthony listeners. They're like, going to be mean to me or whatever, and I ended up realizing that I can like have a bite at them. And that's when I became kind of an antagonistic comic, and it was fun. Like I would go on stage and be like, oh my God, like you guys look like, what did you go to lacrosse? Let me guess, did you play lacrosse or whatever? Like you look like you raped, like how many people have you date raped? Just like I would like attack them before. And that was like kind of like asserting my dominance over them. And I just controlled them. I started to learn to control them through those gigs with Norton. And, but he was great. And it was like nice to, it's nice to work with your heroes. Like, it feels really good. And it's nice when they realize, like, he used to always say, he's always like, what I like about Annie is that she's mean. Like, we were like mean. It was like fun. Like, it was just really fun. I had a great time with him. But okay, so I made friends with, and also that's like a little bit of like being on the spectrum too. I think not like cowering and being nervous, but it's just, you got to like push through.
Spectrum?
What?
The gay spectrum?
No, not the gay spectrum, Anthony. Remember when you showed my tits? 572 of you people in that hour that my tits were up there. By the way, I was asleep and I woke up to DMs of people being like, this is why you have to pay your producer. But anyway, 572 of you saw my fucking boobs. You saw my fucking tits, okay? And I got the DMs. I know you saw them. Why am I broke? Okay? I would never be a prostitute. I would never be a webcam girl. I would never post my fucking, you know my price for my feet. It's $1 million in quarters. You know what that it's about, right? You're not going to send that to me. I'm not ever going to like show my body parts or try to get money from them. But you did see my body parts and I still am getting evicted. So here's what we're going to do. If you saw my tits and you're a good person, you owe me $40, $20 a tit, okay? And we're going to set something up. I don't know how it's going to go. Anthony will help me because he fucking has to because he fucking betrayed me. He boob-trayed me. Okay. We're going to do a little calculation here. If it's $20 a tit, okay, so that's times 2, 40. $40 a set. Okay, so that's times 572. I'm owed $22,880. Now, guys, don't be dicks. You saw my tits. You owe me $40. We're going to set it up. You're going to send me the money and I'm going to pay my fucking rent and I'm going to live comfortably for one fucking moment of my life because I'm giving you content. I'm giving you advice. I'm doing all these fucking things for you. Where's the money? You saw my areolas. I'd shave my nipples. There wasn't even nipple hair in that. There wasn't even nipple hair in it. You got a bare, bald, pink, beautiful, round set of titties. For free? For free. I can't pay my rent. You saw my tits. So again, that'll be $22,880 also dollars. I said that weird. But I'm sorry, my tits were out. My head's it's a little weird since my fucking titties were out. But they did look good. You guys know they look good. They were cute. I'm so pretty. That's another thing. Okay, so when I started comedy, I had really low self-esteem. I thought I was ugly and disgusting. And I had a little inkling that people were trying to fuck me and I didn't want to fuck them, right? So my first open mic, I finally get the courage to go to it. I get blackout drunk. I go home with this really unfunny comedian. I hate him, okay? I don't think he's funny. I think he's annoying. I knew at that point I had a drinking problem. I had told him all night, please stop buying me alcohol. I'm an alcoholic. I can't say no to you. He kept buying it. I said, I don't like you. I don't want to sleep with you. I'm not interested in you. I don't want to hang out with you. He kept hanging out. Now, that's on me, right? I was susceptible to that. That's not... I can say whatever I want. It's like he can still shoot a shot, whatever. I wake up on his air mattress, fully clothed, not having done shit with him. I remember making out with him a little bit, but being like, I told you I don't want to do this. Fine. I think he pulled his dick out and I was like, get your skinny pencil dick out of my face. And then, so I wake up, it's snowing and I realized like, I got to quit drinking because I had made a rule that I was not going to hook up with comics for a couple of years because I wanted to be taken seriously. Now you can give or take that, but I do think as a girl, it's easier to do that. It's easier to just not date a comic. You don't want to take someone's cadence. A lot of times when comics date, they start to sound like each other. You start writing each other's jokes and it's good. That can be an asset at some point, but before you found your voice, you don't want to be affected by other people. I see a lot of people, they'll do like Anthony Jeselnik style, or I see some girls doing, honestly copying me, which flattered, but get your own thing, bitch. But you want to try to not be copying someone else. You want to find your own voice. That's very important. And that takes years. It just takes a long time. You got to learn how to hold the mic. You got to do a lot of things. You should be filming, at least recording, but you should be filming all of your sets to see if you're looking down, like that fucking ding dong that told me is the best comic. You're looking at the ground, you fucking idiot. Your body is telling you suck. You know deep down how bad you are that you can't even make eye contact with the audience. You wouldn't sleep at night if you made them look you in the eye. That's how bad your comedy is. We all saw the joke coming, and we will play the joke in full. You're terrible. So I made friends with all these comics that were working really hard, and I knew that when I wanted to do like at least like 2 to 5 mics a night was like my goal. I would never just do one. One was not enough. One was like not going. But I wanted to stay home, and I wanted to like, I would always go, but I have to write, or I need to do this. And I always knew I had like 5 friends. I had Mike Racine, Mike Lawrence, Dan St. Germain, Brian Baldinger, who works at a podcast studio now, but he used to be one of the bookers for Montreal. And who else? There's one other person, but I can't remember. I had them, maybe Bonnie. Bonnie became friends with me pretty early on. I was really like shocked she would be friends with me. She has low self-esteem, obviously. I was a full open micer. I think people could tell I was going to be funny. Donnell used to take me around. But I had all these people that I knew I could call when I was like trying to make excuses, or like I'm tired, or I'm sick, or I have to work early in the morning. They were like, go to the mic. It's always the answer is always to do the stage time. Like now in my career, I can turn stuff down here and there, but it's like, if you want to be good and you're like still figuring it out, which is like the first, honestly, like 8 years of your career at least, you need to be getting up like every day, all day. This is a full-time, this is a lifestyle, and you all want it. I can see that you want it. It's a fun hang. You know, with podcasts now, you can hang out with comedians and we're all laughing and having a good time. But we have worked we have cried blood for this. I used to work so hard at open mics that I would be weeping at the end of the week. Like I would just be like, I have a headache and be crying. And it was so draining because I just would have bomb. I became a bomb machine to the point where like bombing didn't even really affect me anymore. I mean, it did, but it wasn't life or death. It didn't feel like I was going to die anymore, but you just kind of get through it. That wasn't a fart. My stomach made a weird noise. I had bacon. We all heard it. It was crunchy. We remember. Calm down, everyone. I did shit my pants, but it was not a fart. This is actually a good shit your pants because it's like a grandpa could be wearing it. This is a good shit your pants outfit. But anyway, so I ended up going to, I did one open mic. I quit drinking after that because I knew I had to focus. I was going to go home with dudes, unfunny fucking guys, wake up on their air mattress. I was going to fucking hate myself. I wasn't going to be doing the work that I knew I wanted to do. And I had done nothing up until that point. I'd been a waitress, a bartender, a go-go dancer, a special ed teacher. I trained dolphins. I saved sea turtles. And I was an innkeeper at a bed and breakfast. But the teaching stuff I was good at, and I put a lot of work into. I was a nursery school teacher too. You saw that picture last time when he was showing my tits. But like, this was the only thing I ever did. Like, I was a bad student. I didn't like writing. This was the only thing I ever did where I was like, it felt like in Chinese checkers when the marble like falls into the hole, when it's like boop, 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 poop. You know what I mean? Like it just rolled into like, this is what I do. And I knew it. I fucking knew it. So if you don't know that and you're not sure and you're thinking about doing this for a hobby, do not waste our time. Go take a fucking improv class. It'll give you a skill set that's not, stand-up is like, it's a whole fucking life. And I know you guys want it. I know you want a piece of it. I know it's attractive, but you did not earn it. You have to earn it. You have to earn that hang. You have to work really hard. You have to push yourself to like places you never thought you could go. It's not easy. It's not, I mean, it is, I guess, in a way, because it's just words, but why aren't there pockets? But I guess I could just put them in my bare tits. I have to cover them just in case Anthony does something. So bad. But so I quit drinking. That was a huge sacrifice. I stopped having friends. I mean, I had a couple regular friends, but I couldn't really have them because I couldn't go to their stuff. I couldn't go to their concerts or whatever the fuck they were doing, or go to the movies with them or dinner with them. I had to work. And I was working during the day as a waitress. I found a job that was 9 to 4. And then I had a couple friends who we would just hustle around. We would sign each other up at mics, and we would go around. We'd do the mic. We'd hop on the train, go to another mic, hop on the train, go to another mic. And a lot of people got mad. They're like, you're not staying to support. Well, here's the deal. I don't give a fuck about you. Sorry, I'm not trying to be rude, but why the fuck? This is my job. You're doing this as a hang and a hobby. This is my life. This is my life. So I'm going to keep every opportunity I can get to be on stage. I'm going to do it. I'm not going to wait for some person I've never met set. And people would get mad at me and stuff, and I just had to take that. I had to take that hit, and where are they? Still doing open mics, and I'm still not there watching. Like, do your own thing. It's follow your arrow. I'm not here to fucking, and not, like if it's your friend, sure. But I mean, there were like these guilt trips later. I was like, nah, sorry, bitch. See you later. And then, so then once I did that, I met Donnell Rollins pretty early on. I had done like 1 or 2 open mics. I had just quit drinking, and my friend was friends with Esther Koo. And Esther Koo is friends with Donnell, and they were very close at that point. And Donnell was having a party, and so they invited me to go because they knew I wanted to do stand-up. So I go to Donnell's party, and I'm talking to one of his friends, Jerome, I believe, who owned a candy store. I know that sounds like I'm being racist and thinking of 50 Cent's song Candy Shop, but no, this was Jerome. He had a candy store. He was cool. But I was talking to him when I was being funny in the conversation. He goes, are you a comedian? And I said, well, I kind of got quiet, and I went, I'm kind of into comedy. It's like, like I'm trying it out, or I'm doing it. Like I want to be a comic, and I'm doing open mics here and there, but I'm not like a comic. So then all of a sudden he goes, Donnell, put her on your show. Donnell was just starting a show on Monday nights at this club in the Lower East Side called Laugh Lounge. Now Laugh Lounge is long gone, but it was like a cool little urban room. It had like fake pipes behind you and stuff. It was cool, like graffiti and shit. I'll post a picture from there too. One of my first sets there. And I had a little jacket from Rainbow that cost me fucking $10. It was pleather, and it would stick to me. It would get all like humid and stick to my skin. All the lining was ripped because I got it in an extra small because I like tight clothes because I'm a slut. And so he was like, come do the show. And I was like, no, I'm not ready. And he humiliated me in front of everyone. And I was like, fuck you, dude. Go hard or go home. Like, nah, son. He's like, don't tell people you want to be a comic and then turn down a spot. He's like, you can never do that. Never, ever. And so I'm glad he did that. So I showed up on Monday, and he said, are you going to come back next week and do it? And I said, yeah. I invited a bunch of my friends, and I did a 5-minute set. I had all these jokes I had written, and I did good. And I remember Marina Franklin was on this show, and she was like, that baby joke's really good. She's like, that's crazy. This is like your friend. And it just felt really good. And I just knew I could do it. I knew I was like, and not to be cocky, but I knew I was like going to be like, I was like, I'm exceptional at this. Like, I know I wasn't there yet, but I was like, I know that my brain can work in the way to structure these jokes. And I know that I have like the power behind it, and that I've never had this fuel before for anything in my life. And I just knew it. And so then I would do Donnell's show every Monday, and I bombed a bunch, and he took me to some black rooms, and I fucking got booed, and it was like crazy. It was fucking amazing. I mean, it was amazing. And then sometimes I would fucking do great, and it was just like working. And I always see Donnell. He's going to come on the podcast, but I know he's real proud of me because he knew me from nothing. But he's always like, I always knew you had something. He's like, I always saw it. He's like, everyone else was like, why are you putting her up? And I was like, all right, chill, let's relax. What about everybody else? But, he helped me a lot. And so there's those people that will come along and help you, but you don't fucking DM them and ask. Like, I had a friend who was also friends with Anthony Jeselnik when I first started, and it was so awkward. He like set us up. We like met at the Olive Branch or whatever the hell it's called, at the above the cellar, and it was just so awkward. And he was like, what do you want advice from? I was like, I don't know. He just like set us up for this. And he's like, how much are you getting up? I told him 5 times a night. He said, great. And he said, I honestly think he just said get up 5 times. It was not much, but it was, and I was so embarrassed. And every time I see him, I bring it up, and he's like, you're honestly the only one that's ever done that, that's literally listened to my advice and did it. And I was like, wow, I was already doing it. I was already there. It was like a weird time to ask him anyway. I was already kind of doing it. But he was very nice. And but it's embarrassing. Like, you guys should be embarrassed that you're asking me. A guy came up to me I left the Comedy Store. There was this Asian guy that was like, you can see when people are going to do it because they start coming to the Comedy Store. And, you know, I go on late night, and at this point I was going on even later. I've moved up a little bit in the lineup, but you can see them. They stay late. They're alone. They sit in the same seat usually every night, and they just watch you. They stare at you, and it's like, oh, you want to be a comedian, but you're being a pussy, and you're just coming to watch, thinking that there's going to be some sort of answer for you. And so I was at this whatever the hamburger place is that's in the train that's near the Comedy Store. It's so good. I can't remember what it's called, but it's fucking delicious. It's not Carmen's. It's something like that.
No, Carney's.
Carney's, yeah, it's Carney's. Yeah. So I was at Carney's, and the guy taps me on the shoulder and goes, hey, I just wanted to ask your advice. I go, oh God. And he goes, do you think I should do stand-up? And I went, what? Why the fuck would I? It's just why would I? What, me? You weird narcissist. Are you crazy? I'm working on my set. I'm with my friends. You? What the fuck are you talking about? I've been through a whole thing. Had the worst child. I'm finally have figured out how to squeeze the fucking joy out of my life and to get everything I want. I get it. I don't ask people. I don't look for fucking answers in other people. I do it. I go into me and I do it. It's crazy. Not tap me on the shoulder. Should I? Why the fuck would I care? If you do comedy? And then I go, well, I mean, I guess you should just do it, right? If you want to do it, you should just try it. Are you going to die having not done it? And he goes, and then I'll be good. And I went, probably not. You will probably not be good. I'm telling you, just from what I know, you probably won't be good, but you should probably try, right? Or are you going to die never knowing? It's just you're missing the whole point. What are you coming up to me and saying that? That's crazy. And one kid would come around all drunk and he's like, come watch my set. I just started doing it. I will never watch your set. Why would I watch your set? I'm busy. I'm at work. This is my job. You are at my work trying to take my job, honestly. You're trying to get my job. And not that there's enough comedy to go around and I'm team comedy. I want there to be everything to be hilarious and great. But it's at the open mic level, guys, get the fuck out of here. What are you talking about? Talk to people who are your peers. Sometimes my open micer friends will I got a few, and they're like, can you film this thing for me? I'm like, is there not an open micer at your level you can ask to do this? I am a professional comedian. Go get one of your ding dong friends to help you. But, it's if you want to do it, if you have that inkling, just do it. Just do it. But I recommend if you want to do something because you want to break out of your shell, don't do stand up, do improv. Go to UCB, take an improv class. I started by doing that. I took an improv class first, and it helped me a lot. I think it's helped me with crowd work. It helped me with a lot of things. I think that helps also with the not hesitating before you say things and not getting nervous around people, because with improv, it's you have to go with your first instinct. If you think the second thought, it ruins the whole thing. So I would say take a fucking improv class. See if you like that. If you want to try stand up, there's open mics everywhere, but you can't just go. It's not just what people go, one guy came up to me in Duncan Trussell at the Comedy Store, and he goes, I'm just not like you guys. And I go, first of all, how long have you been doing comedy? He goes, 2 years. I go, of course you're not like us. We're professional. We're the best comics. I'm not saying the best, but it's we've been doing comedy a long time. We're pretty good. But it's, there's, you don't just you're not just I'm great at this thing. It's there's a whole, you gotta go to boot camp and shit. You gotta suffer. You gotta do your push-ups. You gotta do your army corners or whatever in your bed. You gotta make your bed, bitch. You gotta do it. My house is trashed. I said that. But, so I said that, and then he goes, I go, how often do you get up? And he goes, once a month. Or I'm like, you are not even, you're not even an open micer. You're not even an open micer. You're not that. It's wild. I'm like, and you're comparing yourself to us. That's insanity. That's an insane thing to do. And he goes, well, I'm just not I don't just get to the punchline like you guys go. Yeah, because it's a fucking, this is a sport. I'm an athlete. I'm an athlete of words. Do you understand that? I'm an athlete. I have to do my reps. I have to eat well. I have to show up on time. I have to do my fucking sit-ups. I got to do all my shit. I got to raise the weight all the time, and I got to make it harder and give myself different challenges and stuff. You don't just show up ripped, okay? We're not all fucking those really hot black dudes that don't work out and they just have really good bodies. I don't know why that happens, but they have it. Some of us gotta fucking get on the treadmill and fucking do some cardio. It's just like, it's these little sacrifices that you make for the greater potential of what you can do, right? The mics are the sacrifices. Stanhope has some sort of quote. I'm just gonna paraphrase it, but something about like the work and what you're getting paid for is getting to the venue, is like having to, you know, like find parking and having to like fly or having to like go to a hotel, or that's what you're getting paid for, because the time on stage, that's like, whew. There's this Frank Ocean song that like really, really sums it up for me. Let me find it. I'll read you the lyrics, because this is like how I feel. And if you don't feel this way about what you do, I'm sorry. You gotta fucking fix your life, because this is okay. So it's Futura Free, the Frank Ocean song. This first line, it's just a good line, so I'll read it, but this isn't but just listen, okay? If I was being honest, I'd say, long as I could fuck 3 times a day and not skip a meal, I'm good. I used to work, this is where it gets good. I used to work on my feet for $7 an hour. Call my mama like, mama, I ain't making minimum wage, mama. I'm on, mama, I'm on. Now I'm making 400, 600, 800K, mama, to stand on my feet, mama. Play these songs, it's therapy, mama. They paying me, mama, I should be paying them. I should be paying y'all, honest to God. I'm just a guy, I'm not a god. Sometimes I feel like I'm a god, but I'm not a god. If I was, I don't know which heaven would have me, mama. Like me, let me run this bitch. I'ma run it into the ground, mama, the whole galaxy. Goddamn, fuck these lames. They don't want none. Fuck these limbs. I mean, all right, then it starts to be the N-word. But it should have just stopped after I should be paying y'all, honest to God. I mean, the God part afterwards makes sense too, where it's like you do get a little bit like, you have to remember that you're the same as the audience. Like you can't be like, ooh, I'm a god, I'm up here. To be like, we're all in this. But yeah, I feel like you know, I sometimes it's like I should be paying you to do this, but I don't have any fucking money, so send me the $40 a tip. I mean, $20 a tip. But you know, like I do feel that way. I feel really grateful for what I do. I feel very like blessed. I feel like I was given a gift, and I have a mind that really can latch onto this, and that I did all of the hard work and the stuff. And I, you know, I got past the Comedy Store, and I got all these things, and I got to do Chelsea Lately, and now I get to do David Spade, and I had my own talk show, and I had all these things, and I fucking worked for them. And I got them at weird times. Like my talk show, I wasn't ready for that. They gave me that because they thought I was pretty. You know, like there's things that like, and it's just about like trusting the process and just knowing that if I put in the work, like everything's all good. And just like listening, honing, crafting. And a big thing for me was realizing that like I was kind of had this antagonistic thing from when I first started with Norton, where I would like kind of fight the audience, and I would go out like, you hate me, I'm going to fucking fuck with you first. And once I realized that it's love, like it's just love. It's like love between me on the stage and the audience, that, you know, my Papa Roach experience, I don't know if you guys remember that story, but I saw them be like, we love you. And I was like, oh my God, I've been approaching the audience wrong. Papa Roach. Hell yeah. But now that I see it where it's like, I have these things, and it's back to that Elton John video. It's like, I have this ability to write these jokes that I can share with you, and we can all laugh. And it's like, it's for you. It's like, look what I made for you. You know, and it's for me too. I get a lot out of it, but it's like, look what we're doing. And then if there's like a good crowd work moment, it's like, we did this, or it's just like, it's alive, you know, and it's like, there's like a heartbeat to a good set, and we're all fucking like in sync, you know, and it fucking feels really good. And, but you gotta work, you gotta suffer to get to that. And, what else was I going to say about that? you know, and then other years I had like 2 TV shows and was like doing great. There's ups and downs, and I chose to be in the ocean, right? Someone threw me into the sea when I was a kid, and this is how I didn't swim to shore. I just realized I would rather ride the waves. So it goes up and down. And sometimes I'm on top of a wave, and sometimes I'm being pulled into the undertow. And I know that I will not survive. I'm a marine mammal, bitch. Like, I won't survive on land. I can't have a land job at 9 to 5. I can't know how much money I'm going to make every week. I can't do that. That's not for me. I would fucking die. I would die in that environment, okay? I got a fucking blowhole or something. I got to be in the water. There's some blowjob joke there. And so with that, it comes like there's no security. So it's like I'm sacrificing security. I'm sacrificing having a family. Not that I won't have a family, but you know, that could still happen. But on TikTok, bitch, the eggs are starting to cough. Whoop. I'm going to crack those eggs open and they're going to be dust inside. But, you know, I've sacrificed these like comforts and these of normalcy to do this. So I'm not going to just do it half-ass. I'm not going to go to some comic and ask them for advice. I'm just going to fucking do it, right? If you're going to sacrifice, go hard, because if I'm not a mother, I better be a mother to my jokes, you know, like I better be a mom to my career. I better be like a mother to my audiences and take care of their needs, which is to laugh. And, you know, you see, you know, with like the Me Too stuff and the Louis stuff, and you see these people going like, this is what they get to this place in their career, and they look back on it and they go, oh, I didn't get that thing. I wanted that thing, you know, and the reason I didn't get that thing is this thing outside of myself. Louis jerked off in front of me, or so-and-so got this over me, or they fucked someone and they got it. And I've been, you know, the victim of like a lot of false rumors and stuff like that, because people do not want to look at themselves. And that's what differentiates me from them. I will fucking look at myself. I will look at my jokes. I will take it hurts. It's painful. I will see some dumb shit I did, and I'll have to feel that. I'll have to feel that I fucking failed at my job, and then I have to fix it. You have to do it. And these other people, they don't look at themselves. They look outward. They blame everything because it hurts too much to look inside. And you can't do comedy if you have that. You can't. It's no one else's fault that you're not where you are. This is a dream job, okay? Because you can imagine yourself having all of these things does not mean that you get them. Just because you dreamt it, it's a dream. It's called a dream because you fucking wake up, bitch. Like, you wake up, and a lot of times you don't have what you want. I wake up and I'm in heaven. Okay, because I worked hard for this. I'm in the life I want. When I'm on stage at the Comedy Store, I'm inside of heaven. Okay, like I wake up like fucking grateful. I'm so grateful. I am so glad that I got fucking molested. I'm so glad I got fucking verbally abused. I'm so glad I got neglected. I'm so glad I was thrown into the ocean. I'm so fucking glad. I'm so grateful that everyone fucking jizzed on me. I'm so glad that I was the cookie in between a teacher's circle jerk. I'm so glad that I fucking sucked at school. I'm so glad that I had panic attacks about homework. I'm so glad that I was dumped on Christmas Eve. I'm so glad that I was fucking humiliated by Donnell Rollins at that party. Like every fucking thing. That I'm so glad I fell off my scooter drunk and almost fucking lost a nipple. I'm so glad. Like, I'm just so glad. I'm so fucking grateful. Every single thing, everything that happened is a fucking brick, and I'm just happy where I'm at.
You know, Thanksgiving was last week, right?
Anthony, nobody's going to like that you said that. Anthony's rolling his eyes. Anthony, you know what your punishment is. You got to see my tits. If you don't fucking black those out, I'll kill you. Anyway, I was in the middle of something and Anthony interrupted for what he thought was a joke, but he's feeling it, guys. He's sitting in the bomb. That's what I liked working with Sacha Baron Cohen. He always makes you feel the bomb. He'd like look you in the eye. If you pitch something bad, he'd really... It's so funny. If you can't laugh at bombing, you ain't shit. But anyway, this is not, you don't get all the things you imagine. That's not how it works. I mean, I have, but you don't. Anyway, sorry I didn't read more of your things. But we got to get to punishing Anthony. Anthony, come here. Come here.
Nah.
Anthony, you have to. You showed my tits. Come here.
I want to get whipped.
You're going to get whipped. Anthony, Fired or whipped? Fired or whipped? Fired or whipped? All right, guys, we're having technical difficulties. I actually am going to have to end this podcast soon because we have to get a new fucking producer. He showed my tits and he's not going to get whipped? Anthony, come here. No. Anthony's being alpha. It's really hot, actually. Come here. Anthony! Oh, my God. You're fucking dead to me, dude. All right, guys. I'm going to go through your jokes another time. But you got my spiel, how I feel about comedy. The essence of comedy, okay? Just do your work. Head down, write jokes. Go to Mike's. And to that kid, whose name I will never mention, go work. Honestly, you'd be better off working at the mall. It's horrific what you sent me. Go be cocky about how many fucking prepaid cell phone plans you sold. Oh my God, it's so bad. All right, we're gonna do, Anthony will be punished. You'll see. All right, guys. Peace.